Hey guys! For those who don't already know me, I'm Cara from Cara Leaford Ceramics. I'm a full-time potter living in the UK. I work here in my garden studio in Somerset. Welcome to the first video of my Throwdown challenge. To celebrate the new series of the Great Pottery Throw Down, I've challenged myself to do the Throwdown challenge set to the contestants on the show every week. The show airs on a Sunday night, so I'll be doing the challenge the next day. I'll film the challenge during the day and upload the video to YouTube every Monday evening. I'll be sharing what I learned along the way as well as some pottery tips, so make sure you subscribe to my channel and drop this video a like. You guys are also very welcome to do the challenges with me. It might be fun to compare notes and have a little bit of friendly competition along the way. The point of doing this is to challenge myself to try new things and maybe inspire others at the same time. I'm filming the challenges in real time with little or no editing to the footage. This is so you can see what really happens. And as you can see, my cat Flora decided to come and say hi right while I was filming. I'll only edit the beginning and the ends of the film. I'm aiming for them all to be shot in one take. I didn't have a stopwatch to hand here, so I used my phone as a timer. There's a clock on my studio wall, so I could roughly see how long I had left. If you're wondering, that's what I'm looking up at during the video. Week 1 was the milk jug challenge. This was to throw as many milk jugs as you can in 15 minutes. They had to be consistent, in proportion, and as neat as possible. Keith said he could throw 15 in 15 minutes. Let's see how many I can throw in the same time. Keep watching to find out. Just so you know, I hadn't practiced these milk jugs at all. In fact, I hadn't been in the studio for a good few weeks as we just had the holidays and I had been away. So this first milk jug is the first thing I've thrown this year. During the show, I don't think they mentioned how much clay they used per milk jug, so I'm guessing here. If anyone knows, let me know in the comments below. By the looks of things, it was about a pound of clay, which is approximately 453 grams. So that's what I'm using here. I prepped the clay beforehand, so all these balls have been pre-wedged. I used reclaimed clay here, so it was pretty soft. I do think that's an advantage when you're trying to throw quickly. I was quite rusty getting back on the wheel, and it took me a minute to get my eye in. The first couple of jugs felt really quite slow. My first jug took me over 3 minutes. At this rate, I'll only manage to throw 5. Maybe if I was in a room full of other potters doing the challenge at the same time, it would have spurred me on to go a bit faster from the beginning. I coned up twice on the first couple, but then I coned up only once when I realised how long each one had taken me. I wouldn't do this in real life, I always cone up twice. I used the concentric circles on the wheel head to help me get the jug the same diameter each time. I also used a pair of calipers to measure the top. We weren't told what the dimensions of the jugs were in the show, so I'm making up my own here. I just need to make sure I match the subsequent jugs to the first one. A third of the time had already gone by this point and I'd only made one jug, so I really needed to speed up if I was going to beat Keith. Okay, I'm going to concentrate now. I'll be back in 20 seconds or so with some more chat. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the throwing. I wouldn't really describe myself as a production potter. I produce work in smaller batches. This was a brand new shape for me. I wonder if this shape is something that Keith makes in his own studio. I used a wooden kidney to help me make sure each jug was the same height. I knew the rim of my jug needed to be a smidge taller than the kidney. If I did this challenge again, I wouldn't have spent nearly as much time patting the balls. I also probably wouldn't have taken quite so much care over each one. I'm a bit of a perfectionist. I stopped trimming the bottom of the jugs on the later ones, as this took up too much valuable time. I used my wooden rib to shape the jug and colour in the neck a little. I think maybe I took a bit too much time over this. When I'm throwing my own work in my studio, I would normally use a bat system to help me get the pots off the wheel without warping them. They didn't use bats on the show, so I didn't here either. It is quite tricky to lift your pots off the wheel using the method that Keith did on the show. One tip is to make sure your hands are completely dry and the walls of the pot are free from any slip before attempting to lift it off. I think if I had been a bit more organised and had a towel to hand instead of using my apron, it would have sped things up a bit. Fun fact, back in 2014, I applied for the very first series of the Great Pottery Throw Down. I got down to the final 20 applicants. Unfortunately, I didn't get on the show. I just couldn't cope with the cameras in my face. Which, if you think about it, is quite ironic now because I spend a lot of time in front of the camera. But just the experience of meeting all the other fabulous potters and getting as far as I did gave me the confidence to give up my day job and go on to become a full-time potter myself. Keith Brymer-Jones has been a potter for over 40 years. I've only been a professional potter for 8, so I hope by the time I've clocked up 32 more years, I'll be as quick as he is. Making consistent forms is a key skill in pottery. It's so important to be able to make sets, repeat your favourite forms you have made before, and generally hone your making technique. Making every piece unique is great and a wonderful way to experiment, but it's also extremely useful to be able to repeat things and make matching sets if you want to. Repetition is where many potters struggle, and it can be a great source of frustration. That's because it's hard. I know lots of folks make it look easy, but that's only because it has literally taken them hours and hours and hours of practice. But it's definitely worth investing the time, as it can really push your pottery to the next level. It's taken me years to get to the point where I can look at a form in front of me and copy it to the nearest 0.5 centimetres. This takes a lot of practice and a lot of failures, but it's a completely learnable skill. I created a tutorial containing my top tips on how to throw consistently over in my pottery club. If you're interested in learning more about Pottery Club, have a peek at the link below this video. So let me talk you through the steps. I opened out my milk jug and compressed the base with my thumb. I made sure I used plenty of water because I don't want any friction, because otherwise that will pull the clay off center. I set the rim between each pull, and I used my sponge to pull the clay up. This also helps to prevent friction. I tried to achieve these milk jugs within 3 pulls. There I am using the kidney to just straighten out the wall, give it some shape, and collaring in at the top there. I got rid of any standing water with my sponge on a stick, just checking the diameter. To make the lip, I just thinned out the rim with my fingers, making sure I used water so there was no friction, and then just shaped the lip. I cut through twice using my wire and lifted it off the wheel. Keith mentioned in the show that the lip of the jug needs to be at the angle of about 7 o'clock. This is to ensure you get no dribbles and a good pour. I'm down to the last 2 minutes. I'm so annoyed. My camera stopped filming just at this point as the card was full, but I didn't realise for about 20 seconds. So I had to get up and quickly switch cards and turn it back on. That's why there's a jump here. I promise I didn't give myself extra time. In fact, I probably ended up with less time because I was faffing about with the camera. Got 1 minute left. I really started to speed up now because I was down to the last minute. I made 6. Ah! And there's the timer. If you try this yourself, please let me know how you get on in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next week for the next challenge, whatever that may be. Okay guys, so here are my jugs, and I'm pretty happy with the consistency of them. Let me just show you with the calipers that they're all pretty consistent. I've put them in quite a tricky place under my shelves. There you go. But I only managed 5. Wow, 15, eh? Well done. To get personal help from me on your own pottery journey, check out my Pottery Club, where you'll get detailed tutorials, tips, tricks, and loads of recommendations, as well as a supportive community. The link is below this video. Thank you so much for watching.